The Israeli military released footage on Saturday it said showed troops operating in the northern Gaza Strip. The army said in a statement that its troops destroyed a Hamas complex in an area known as the Officers Neighbourhood. As the war continues on the ground, Hamas said in a statement that indirect ceasefire negotiations were set to resume on Friday, a day after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said that he authorized a delegation from the Mossad intelligence agency, the Shin Bet internal security agency and the military to continue the talks in Qatar. The US-led talks have repeatedly stalled and Netanyahu has vowed to press ahead in Gaza until Hamas is destroyed. But the militants, while greatly weakened, have repeatedly regrouped, often after Israeli forces withdraw from areas. The war was sparked by Hamas-led militants' attack into Israel on October 7, 2023. They killed around 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and abducted around 250. Around 100 hostages are still inside Gaza, at least a third believed to be dead. Israel's retaliation has killed more than 45,700 Palestinians in Gaza, and women and children make up more than half the dead, according to the territory's health ministry. The ministry doesn't distinguish between civilians and combatants in its tally. Israel's military says it only targets militants and blames Hamas for civilian deaths because its fighters operate in dense residential areas. The army says it has killed 17,000 militants, without providing evidence. The war has caused widespread destruction and displaced about 90% of Gaza's population of 2.3 million. Winter has now arrived, and hundreds of thousands are sheltering in tents near the sea. Clashes erupted between the Lebanese army and Syrian militants on the two countries' border on Friday, January 3. The incident marked the first diplomatic friction between Lebanon and Syria since the Syrian leader Bashar al-Assad's toppling in December last year. The Lebanese army said on X platform that its soldiers and Syrians clashed at the border. Syrians attempted to open the crossing using a bulldozer, so army personnel fired warning shots into the air. The Syrians opened fire on army personnel, injuring one of them and provoking a clash. Army units deployed in the sector have taken strict military measures, the army's statement reads. In response to the border skirmishes, Syria imposed restrictions on the entry of Lebanese citizens, AFP reported with reference to Lebanese security sources. Work is underway to resolve the issue of Lebanese citizens being prevented from entering Syria, Lebanon's Interior Minister Bassam Malawi told AFP. In the past, Lebanese nationals were allowed to enter Syria visa-free, using their ID cards or passports. However, a Lebanese general security officer told AFP earlier on Friday that the border had been closed to Lebanese citizens from the Syrian side.
أخوهم هسه خليه غايب أبطعتني أعمل فيرك شيء
French Foreign Minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, visited the French embassy in Damascus on Friday during his visit to Syria. The embassy reopened its doors for the first time in 13 a few weeks ago following the fall of the government of former Syrian President Bashar Assad. "It is with great emotion that I am today on the site of the French embassy in Damascus," said Barrot as he inspected the building. Barrot expressed his country's continued support for the Syrian people, saying there was new hope following the fall of Assad's regime. A little less than a month ago, new hope was born thanks to the mobilization of Syrians, the hope of a sovereign, stable and peaceful Syria, the hope that the aspirations of Syrians can be fulfilled, he said. "It is a real hope, but it is a fragile hope. Today, more than ever, France stands alongside Syria and Syrians to make this hope a reality." Earlier, Barrot visited the Christian neighborhood of Bab Toma and met with religious leaders. Barrot, along with German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock, headed to Damascus Friday, marking the first official visit to Syria by top diplomats from European Union countries after the fall of Assad. Since Assad's fall, Damascus has seen a flurry of visits from Arab and Western countries that had cut off relations with Assad's government during the country's nearly 14-year civil war. However, Western countries have so far not lifted sanctions placed on Syria under Assad or removed the designation of HTS as a terrorist group, although the United States lifted a $10 million bounty it had previously placed on al-Sharaa.
Ce que je vous propose, c'est de jeter un œil.
C'est avec beaucoup d'émotion que je me trouve aujourd'hui sur le site de l'ambassade de France à Damas, au pied du drapeau qui a été hissé il y a quelques semaines après 13 ans d'absence. Nous avons quitté cette emprise il y a 13 ans, du fait de la dégradation des conditions de sécurité à Damas provoquée par la répression sanglante par le régime criminel de Bachar al-Assad de la révolution de 2011. Pendant 13 ans, la France a continué de soutenir le peuple syrien tout en condamnant fermement les agissements et les exactions du régime de Bachar al-Assad. Et il y a un peu moins d'un mois, un nouvel espoir s'est levé grâce à la mobilisation des Syriennes et des Syriens. L'espoir d'une Syrie souveraine, stable et apaisée, l'espoir que les aspirations des Syriennes et des Syriens puissent se concrétiser. C'est un espoir réel, mais c'est un espoir fragile. Et la France se tient aujourd'hui plus que jamais aux côtés des Syriennes et des Syriens pour concrétiser cet espoir.